All right, let's dive into a really powerful and honestly pretty deep parable today. It's all about choice, about the cozy trap of being just okay, and what it really costs to truly fundamentally change. We're talking about a quiet infiltration into a world that's basically fallen asleep, and what happens when someone plants a single idea that can shatter everything.
So right off the bat, we get this core idea that really kicks off the whole story. What does it mean? Well, it suggests that the biggest, the most profound shifts, the ones that really matter, they don't start with a big announcement. They don't have a parade. They start quietly, under the surface, like a hidden fire, just gathering heat, waiting for the right moment to erupt and just burn the old world down. You're going to want to keep that idea in your back pocket as we go.
So where does this all go down? Not in some epic fantasy kingdom or a scary wasteland. Nope. It's set in a seemingly normal valley marketplace. But don't let that fool you. Just beneath that calm surface, there's this deep, comfortable rot. This is the world of the last men, a place where people are huddled together, not for life, but for the slow, warm decay of their own spirit. So who are these last men? Well, they're not evil. Not really. You could almost say there's something worse. They're complacent. They've traded in any shot at real greatness for these tiny, predictable comforts. They swap petty complaints and little bits of stability like they're gold. And they live in this state of what's called lukewarm happiness. You know the feeling? No real joy, no real sorrow, just kind of there, existing. And you gotta ask, what keeps them stuck like this? The story calls it a spirit of gravity. Think of it like the crushing weight of habit, of convention, of being terrified of anything new. It's this invisible force that just pins them down. And the real tragedy, the irony, it makes them totally blind to any chance for real change, for the very godlike transformation they supposedly pray for. Okay, so into this sleepy, stagnant world, something new arrives. But it doesn't show up with a bang. It comes in with the silence of a shadow. An agent of change shows up, not to give a speech, but to set up a test. This is the catalyst, the thing that's going to challenge the entire valley right down to its soul. And this agent of change? It's the Jester. And man, his entrance is something else. He moves like a shadow within a shadow, completely unseen, totally unannounced. He doesn't say a word, he just places this bizarre, glowing obsidian fruit right in the middle of everything and then steps back to watch. The trap, as the source puts it, is set with the cold precision of a cosmic predator. Now, this fruit, obviously, it's not just any old piece of fruit, right? It's this glowing, weird thing in a world of shriveled, boring stuff. It forces a reaction, and for the last men, that reaction is this deep, gut-level dread they can't even put a name to. They just instinctively look away. And that's what makes the fruit so perfect. It's a filter. It's designed to push away the complacent and pull in the one soul who's actually different. This line really gets to the heart of the paradox here. A sacrament is supposed to be holy, something that saves you. But this one, it's also a poison. It offers you the absolute truth, but that truth is so powerful, so reality-bending, that taking it in will completely destroy the comfortable life you knew. It takes a very specific kind of courage, the guts to choke on a truth that will ultimately set you free. So while the crowd shrinks away from this thing, the Jester's little test works exactly as he planned. It doesn't go completely unnoticed. There's one person who isn't pushed away, but is actually drawn to it, who feels this strange connection to its chaotic glow. The exception finally steps out of the crowd. I just love this description. The famine of the heights. It's so good. This isn't just a kid being curious. This is someone with a deep, starving hunger for something more, for an existence that's bigger than the flat, boring valley. This youth is totally different from the last men because they're not defined by what they have. They're defined by what they're missing and what they desperately, desperately want. I mean, just look at the contrast here. It is night and day. On one side, you have the last men, just clinging to safety, running from anything that might upset their tiny little lives. And on the other side, you've got this youth. They don't want safety. They want a hammer. They're not scared of the fruit's chaos. They feel a kinship with it. They want to shatter the very world. The others are trying so hard to keep the same. And that brings us right to the climax of this whole parable. The decision, the action, and the consequences that are totally irreversible and happen in a split second. This right here, this is the point of no return. And check this out. His hand is trembling, but it's not what you think. It's not fear. It's the physical feeling of making a choice so huge it changes everything. By reaching for that fruit, the youth is basically accepting a brand new future, a destiny that's going to cut them off from their people forever. It's a choice made with eyes wide open, a willing step into pure chaos.
So the change itself, it happens in these three bam, distinct stages. First, there's the touch, a spark of energy that nobody else even sees. Then, the taste, where the youth takes in all that forbidden twilight knowledge the jester was offering. And finally, the wildest part, the split. The youth's shadow, all their hidden potential, literally detaches from them and stands up on its own. The change isn't just in their head, it's real.
So, what happens now? The jester's mission is done, right? Well, yes, but believe me, the story is far from over. Now we get to see the fallout from this one decision, both for the youth who's been transformed and for the valley, which can never, ever go back to the way it was.
And this quote is so important for understanding the jester. See, he isn't some guru who's going to stick around and hold the kid's hand. He's a catalyst. His only job was to light the match, not to manage the fire. By just vanishing, he forces the youth to figure it all out on their own, to become their own guide in this new, shattered world.
The consequences here are just huge. Absolutely huge. The jester's quiet mission was a success. A seed of discord, which is really just the idea of overcoming yourself, is now planted in the valley. A grand reckoning with mediocrity has officially started, and it's all fueled by the youth's choice to give up every comfort they ever knew. That raven's call? That's the sound of the valley's quiet, dead peace being shattered for good. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, because this one event, it's actually part of a much bigger philosophical cycle. This isn't just the story of one kid in one valley, it's the beginning of every story of real growth. The source has this amazing term for what the jester planted, the virus of the overman. The overman is this ideal of a human who's gone beyond good and evil and creates their own values. Calling it a virus is such a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Because like a virus, this idea of transformation is contagious. It's been dropped into a population with zero immunity, and now it's just destined to spread.
So in the end, what was the jester? He wasn't a prophet, was he? No, he didn't preach a single word. He was a catalyst. He was the spark. And I love this line, he's a laughing sun, because there's this joyful, chaotic, creative energy to what he did. He successfully set their stagnant little world on fire so that something new and alive could finally grow from the ashes.
And this is where it all comes full circle, where it gets really mind-bending. This isn't the end of the story. Not even close. The youth, now completely transformed, is eventually going to become the next jester. It's their destiny to find another Sleepy Valley and plant another seed. This is what ensures the cycle, the eternal recurrence of challenging mediocrity and striving for something more never ever ends.
And that leaves us with the one big question, doesn't it? The one this whole story is really about. It's for you. This isn't just a parable about some fictional place. The marketplace, that's our world, with all its comforts and distractions. And that fruit, it represents any chance for real, difficult, authentic growth. So honestly, if that glowing obsidian fruit showed up in your life, would you look away? Or would you be brave enough to taste the truth?